Hi there, my name is PolishLynx, still sick, but still recording, and this is SC2VN, a visual novel that tells a bit about StarCraft and eSports, and we have some giveaways and new bundles somewhere, but, well, let's not pay attention to that. This is Jet, professional StarCraft player. So let's continue the talk. Okay, if we are going ahead to this, I've got a lot of stuff to do. The deadline to register for a team league is in 2 weeks, so we can't afford to waste time. Get moving on your search! Right, good luck, I'll catch you online. Yeah, later. When she's gone, I fall back in my chair and take a deep breath. Jet just asked me to join her team. I pinch my forearm and enjoy the sensation that follows. With that, my disbelief dissolves into contemplation. How the hell am I going to find 2 worthwhile unsigned players? A mixture of guilt and pride led me to spend the rest of the day at Golden Zone Fire. Between ladder games and a break for dinner, I scoped out the cafe's best StarCraft players. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like any of the Golden Zone Fire's regular patrons are much to write home about. There were good players there for all-out attack, sure, but today most of the cafe's patrons were playing Broad War, and of the ones that were actually laddering in StarCraft 2, there was only a single guy in Master League. I have to extend my search outside of a single PC bang. I guess I'd have been a little too convenient to find a VSL caliber player so easily. I get the urge to stop at the convenience store on the way back to my apartment. There's one I've been going to regularly for my nightly fix of sugar and caffeine. The store's blindingly bright signage is visible from more than a block away. Green capital letters spell out on the store's name in English on a backdrop of white. Go Mart! The door's familiar chime welcomes me, and the same clerk I've seen at least a dozen times before stands formally behind the cash register. He looks a bit too old to be working still. Maybe he owns the place and doesn't have help to work the night shift. I see myself standing behind the counter in an unwanted mental image. It's a fate that could easily await me if I fail to make it as a professional gamer. I shake my head free of the thought and make my way to the refrigerated section of the store to fill my fist with cans and bottles. Some of the drinks may have strange names, but I will be damned if they aren't good. I drop them on the counter in front of the old man and briefly make eye contact with him. He seems to recognize me, but doesn't say anything to indicate it. He rings up my drink slowly, not from age or clothes, but because he's in no great rush. The store's empty aside from me after all. 6,000 won. I swipe my credit card in the reader and depart with a polite smile, anxious to return to my apartment. The clerk returns the expression and watches me go without another word. The only top-tier player I'm on speaking terms with is Asel, but how would I even approach the subject of getting him to leave his team for a new and untested one? Maybe it would be better for me to simply get a lead from him. If I can't manage that, then I'm left to score local PC banks and message boards on my own. Whatever, I'll figure this out tomorrow. And you had to convince her. Seriously, she's been talking this up to me for the past 2 months. It's a big chance I can change, I guess. And come on, I just met you guys. How can she not be hesitant? Axel grins, no dappery, plain Jet's angst in his mate's eyes. Getting in at the ground floor is a major plus. You were in the right place at the right time. If it works out, that is. Axel glanced over his shoulder before returning his attention to me. Most teams barely pay their players anything. I've got it good for someone my age, but even I have part of my winnings taken from the team's benefit. Ouch. Luckily for Westerners, that isn't a trend that has caught on outside of South Korea. So, I can't do it. It's impossible. The word simply will not come. What? Axel lets out a laugh. Genuinely and highly amused, he tries to get his words out and, unlike me, eventually ends up succeeding. Sorry, Mach, but no can do. I'm signed with Crush until the end of the year. I'm not allowed to play for anyone else until my contract is up. As I expected, really, it shouldn't come as a surprise. I sigh, fall back into my chair and rest my palms atop my head. I had to ask. Jet's expecting me to pick up our players while she handles the management and sponsorship side of the things. Hey, well, I can help with the next best thing. I'd be thankful for any help at all. Don't you worry, I've got a short list of easy pickups, an extremely short list. He clears his throat. There's only one person in it, but hey, better than nothing, right? Who is it? Straight to business. Eager for your bang bet, I see. Trust me, Mach. You will want the bottom bang. You know from experience? Sure do. When I was 16, some upjoined broad-war clowns grabbed me from the bottom of the barrel and set me up in their overcrowded sweet shop of a team house. Had to sleep above someone at least 2 years past a graceful retirement. I've seen solitaire players with better APM. He snored. A lot. As horrible as he's trying to make it seem, Axel sounds clear to wistful that bitter as he recounts his first years as a professional gamer. What happened to the team? Sponsor flag, team didn't have the money for legal action. Coach didn't tell us until 20 minutes before rent was due. Someone stole my mousepad as we were moving out, and that was the end of my StarCraft career. Wait, no, it keeps going for 7 years after that and somehow still isn't over. Always forget that part. Axel, top Korean terror, master storyteller. Anyway, this guy's name is Stunt. Plays Protoss, he's pretty good. But does there have to be a but? I'm sensing a but. It's a small but. He's incredibly cheesy and maybe a touch arrogant, and he's a high schooler, but he's good. Why haven't any other teams picked him up in that case? He shrugs. I get the feeling that Axel genuinely does know, but I'm left anxious nonetheless. Still, it's important to have at least some kind of racial distribution on the team. Not in terms of foreigner or Korean mind, but rather of Zerg, Protoss and Terran. Do you know how I could get in touch with him? I could give you the info for a friend request, but he'd probably block you on the assumption that you're a fanboy or a gold seller or something. Your best bet is to find him in person at Stomping Grounds. His Stomping Grounds? What do you mean? Where? No, Stomping Grounds. That's the name of the PC bank he's usually at. Another trick across Seoul. I've never heard of the place, much less been to it. Axel takes note of my frown and wags a finger at me. What? You fly across the world and can't be bothered to walk for half an hour? Take the subway if you're that lazy. No, it's fine. I shouldn't expect this to be easy. No, we are talking. Get going. I keep an eye out for your next player in the meantime. I checked the map on my phone for the second time after reading the sign for a third. This is definitely Stomping Grounds. A deep breath helps calm my nerves. Seconds later, I push open the glass door and make my way inside. Pretty much as expected, computers, vending machines, tables, and the sound of 2000 mice and keyboards. PC banks are nothing if not similar to one another. When a shiver runs down my back, I realize that the AC in here is cranked up ridiculously high. I read somewhere that casinos pump in extra oxygen to keep their patrons awake and alert. Maybe this place has tried to adapt the same tactic to their cafe. A middle-aged woman sits behind the front desk. She glances up at me when I pass by and then returns her attention to the magazines played out in front of her. A quick scan of heads lined up in front of monitors offers me a few potential stunts amidst the sea of scraps. By Axel's description, he's short and has bleached hair. I'm able to narrow it down quickly and confirm his identity with a look at his monitor. He's in the middle of ladder match, and he's playing StarCraft 2 with one hand. The other is occupied with a game on his cell phone. Of the same, Stan's crushing his opponent with a rush build. and by the look of his face, he takes great pleasure in that fact. His enemy sends a salty one-liner before dropping out of the game without a GG. Stunt grins wide and puts his hands behind his head satisfied. After checking the post-game stats, he glances over his shoulder and then spins his chair around to find me watching him. Sup? Something you want? Yeah, you're a stunt, right? That's me, and who are you? I'm Mach. Stunt lights up, stands upright, and plants his head on his hips all at once. Right, the foreigner that Axel messaged me about. Was starting to think you wouldn't show up. Let's get this match going! Hey everyone, the best match is on! What? Damn it! Really, Axel? Really? Before I can adapt an explanation, a crowd of 6 or 7 middle school age kids forms behind. Stunned. I don't see myself talking my way out of this. Bad match. Right, that's me. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Another chubba is gonna try to bad match Stunt. When will I learn? He's the conference best player. Hey Stunt, will you buy me a juice with your winnings? Stunt ignores the peanut gallery and takes a step forward, sizing me up. Judging by his appearance, it looks like he just started high school. I'm at least a head taller than him. Axel said you were down for a 15,000 won bet, but come on, you can do better than that, right? How much were you thinking? 25,000 is a much better number, wouldn't you say? Come on, you had to drag your ass all the way over here to play. Let's make it interesting. That's what, $20 or so. I'd have to skip a few trips to Gomar, but I can't risk having him turn me down. Okay, fine, 25,000. What are we going to do about maps? Best of 3, right? Nah, best of 1 is fine. My time's too valuable. And in a show of good faith, you can pick them up. Axel was thinking about this kid's cockiness. Whatever, at least I can choose them up with a long crush distance. I find a seat and a computer nearby. Phone not so close that we could catch a glimpse at one another's screen. A locked window stares back at me as I sit down. Of course I need to pay to use the PC, but before I can head back to the front desk, Stan slides in front of me and takes the mouse. Yo, I got it. Consider it an investment for the money you're about to give me. He unlocks the machine with a few clicks and the entry of a password. Huh? That worked? After I thank him, he slinks back over to his setup. Stan shares a few confident words with the underage crowd behind him and then throws his headphones on. I host up again and toss him an invite. It's not long after that I'm staring down my base and 6 workers. Young, untrained talent favors unorthodox play, bad taste in hair dye. That's true. I guess. Cannons, 2-gate, 4-gate, blink, proxy, robo proxy, stargate. There are a dozen different ways that Stunt could end this game early. As a precaution, I scout around the interior of my base to ensure that I'm not being cannon rushed. And I discover I am, just outside my vision and dangerously close to my worker line, a cannon finishes building. Some losses in a defense are inevitable, but if I handle this well, it should put me ahead of Stunt. It's gutsy of him to risk a best of one on a strategy like this. Practically all I have to do is scout it to score a victory. By microing my injured SCVS away from cannon shots, I'm able to end the rush at low cost. In truth, that seemed like an exceptionally weak attack. Was I still hyping this kid up for nothing? And I end up only losing 3 of my workers by the time his single cannon is dead. Now, where's that probe? There it is. With his probe down, there's no way he'll be able to drop down any more cannons. Still, he's probably planning his next move. I have to decide what comes next. If he's transitioning into something standard, this would be the perfect time to counterattack. His tech has to be lacking, so there's no way he'll have strong enough units to defend a marine attack. And while it seems incredibly unlikely, there's always a chance that he might have another attack ready. If I want to err on the side of caution, I could stay in my base and simply tap, but that might give him enough time to get back into the game. I should make this call based on what I know about his playstyle. Counteract with my... I don't know. Stay on defense. Even though I'm giving up a chance to win the game immediately, the safe thing to do is step up to dropships. But it looks like I won't need to. My precautionary scout uncovers an ambush waiting in a dark corner of my base. With more than enough units and space to micro my marines, I dispatched his zealots with barely any losses. A cannon rush feint into a proxy gate, absolutely ridiculous. With his rush routed, Stunt quits out of the game without a GG. I won, with surprising ease too. Stunt pushes through the dumbfounded crowd and comes stomping over, fury in his eyes. He really didn't expect to lose. You blindly scout the smoke in your base after a cannon rush? Are you kidding me? Who does that? I raise my hands defensively and scared away from the victory screen splashed across my monitor. Whoa, calm down. It takes like 5 seconds and you have a reputation for those kind of builds, you know. He makes a disgruntled sound and stares hard at me. You got lucky. Typical Terran players. And what are you getting it back there for? Didn't I tell you to sweep up the back room an hour ago? Stop screaming at our customers and go do something useful, Lord have mercy! Without warning, the woman at the front desk paints Stunt a bright thread from across the room. She glares at him for a moment, longer before knocking back behind the counter. Talk about lousy bosses. His anger replaced with modesty, Stunt scars behind his head. The middle schoolers may mostly dispersed, evidently struck by the cruel realization that their Protoss god can bleed. Sorry, that's my mom. Anyway, you beat me. Let me go get your cash. His mom. Even worse. I guess I can see the resemblance minus the bleach hair. Explains how he unlocked my PC, at least. Actually, wait, I didn't come here for a bet match. What? But we just played one. I don't have to pay you then. What? No. I'm recruiting for a new team. Axel mentioned that you were a free agent and I wanted to see if you'd join up. I guess he thought it'd be fun to trick me into a bet match with you. A foreign team? Why didn't you just send me a message or something? No, a Korean one. And Axel said you'd probably assume I was a fanboy and block me. Although I get the feeling that was just his excuse for this whole setup. Man, Axel, couldn't he have just kept this simple? What if I had lost? Stan pauses and reaches for his phone. Distracted or no, he manages to carry on the conversation. Blocking you sounds like something I'd do. Anyway, who else have you got? We've got... Wait, Jet is still technically on VIP. Can I tell him that she's planning to leave? What if he tells someone? Why didn't I think of this ahead of time? You've got... We have some good players about to sign and a sponsor in the works. Nothing official, we're trying to keep everything under wraps until then. Sounds sketchy. A mystery sponsor and mystery players. He doesn't seem convinced. I can hardly blame him. This sort of thing is unfortunately common in eSports. But Axel didn't vote for you. That's worth something, and you beat me. The future Protoss bourgeois. Once we've got 4 players and some management, we are going to pick out a team house. You need to leave and practice with us. I blink once, look away, and take a tactical pause. If your mom will let you move out, that is. He rises to my bait and straightens up, both fists clenched. You're a dang right, she's going to like me. Alright dude, consider me signed. If I've got a room and enough money to pay for food, we're in business. Stan pauses and lowers himself from the tips of his toes. What's the team called, by the way? Like I said, it's a work in progress. I'll let you know when it's picked out. If we are not named yet, I want a say in it. How about Azure Blaze, Phoenix Snipers? What even kid, this isn't a shonen anime? Yeah, probably not. While Stan reveals in the afterglow of being assigned to a StarCraft team, a thought occurs to me. Wait, don't you go to school? Let's just say I'm between schools right now. I don't bother trying to divulge any more information. If he can live in the team house and perform, that's good enough for me. Some promising young pros deferred school for Broad War back in the day, and if StarCraft doesn't work out for him, at least he's got the future cleaning up stomping grounds. Right, the mysteries won't last for long, I promise. I'll be in touch if I need you to show up somewhere. Okay, I'm going to hit you up for practice games tonight, if that's cool. Be online. Sounds good. Welcome aboard, kid. The furry Protoss player lifts his chin for a final grin before heading into one of the PC bank's back rooms, probably to gather broom and dustpan. I grace Stan's mom with an innocent expression on my way out. She answers my smile with a glare sharp enough to make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Okay, well, we've got one new team member, so with that good news, let's end the episode. Hope you enjoyed and see you in the next one. Bye.